We have Ron DeSantis. He signs a bill limiting police review boards, creating buffer for first responders. So basically, he's created no-go zones. No-go zones around police. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed 2 bills Friday that he says will support law enforcement, but which critics warn will undermine the public's ability to prevent police brutality and corruption. Quote, I don't think there's anyone that can match what we've done to protect the citizens of this state, but particularly to ensure that we respect and protect the men and women who wear the uniform, end quote. DeSantis said at the bill signing event in St. Augustine, surrounded by uniformed officers and standing behind a lectern sign that said, quote unquote, supporting law enforcement. One bill, SB 184, creates a 25-foot no-go zone around first responders, including police. The other, HB 601, would limit would actually limit what citizen police oversight boards can do, including investigating complaints of officer misconduct, and would require these panels to be reestablished under county sheriffs and municipal police chiefs who would appoint the members. So let me get this straight. Let me make sure I understand this. Boy. So Ron DeSantis, Meatball Ron, he has created 2 things. One is a 25-foot no-go zone, basically, around the American jihadists, the American Taliban, the U.S. law enforcement. And the other is HB 601. The citizen police oversight boards would have to be approved by the local sheriffs and the police chief. So the people who are supposed to provide oversight to you are the very same people that you're picking. Now, I'm not saying that is an automatic conflict of interest. I am not saying that is an automatic conflict of interest. I am not saying that. That is not what I'm saying. But, you know, if you're picking the very people who are supposed to keep you accountable, I'm not very confident in those people's ability to keep you accountable. Okay? I am not confident in that. All right? So as you can see, this may cause some problems with keeping officers honest. Because if the very people who are supposed to keep you in check are the very people you're picking, well, you're just going to pick people who won't keep you in check. I mean, isn't that how everything else works? Well, let's get deeper into this, man. Let's go deeper into this. This is interesting. DeSantis said the legislation, quote, recognizes that we've got some strange currents going on in our society right now that really seek to delegitimize law enforcement. End quote. Accusing news media outlets of warping narratives about police for attention and clicks. So let me get this straight. Your response to what you believe delegitimizes law enforcement is to make it where citizen police oversight boards and its members are being picked by sheriffs and police chiefs that they are supposed to be keeping accountable. So what's stopping these people from just picking their wives, their husbands, their friends, their cousins, their family members, their stockbrokers, their barbers, their beauticians, their janitors, their side piece? I mean, in every other case of nepotism, isn't that what usually happens? I mean, what's stopping the local sheriff there from appointing one of his sons or one of his kids? Isn't that usually how nepotism works? So, what stops nepotism here? Whereas, suppose for a second you have a sheriff who is out of control, but they appointed their wife to the actual civilian review board, or they appointed one of their church members, or they appointed one of their lifelong friends, or they appointed one of their former customers at a store or a business they once owned. What's stopping that from happening? You don't see how this can be easily abused? How this could be easily abused by a sheriff who might be in that position for the wrong reasons? Or that police chief who may be not in it for the right reasons? Are you saying that people like that do not exist? Especially in Miami, Florida? Have you been to Miami? Have you met some of those business owners? I have. Have you met some of those cops? I have. The only thing that you trust in Miami is maybe that some of the beaches are beautiful. That's the only thing you trust in Miami. Otherwise, from that, you don't trust nothing in Miami. You trust nothing in Miami. There ain't a legitimate business in Miami to save their lives. I mean, it's just not. You don't trust nothing in Miami, okay? So you can already see how that can just go awry, right? He cited the recent police unaliving of Dexter Reed in Chicago and the subsequent controversy over use of force and traffic stop practices. Officers fired at that man nearly 100 times during a traffic stop, reportedly caused by Reed not wearing a seatbelt. The governor accused some journalists of ignoring that Reed fired first. What? So you fire 100 shots? Again, that's just some I'm white and I say so. That's just some I'm white and I say so. Getting too close to police could result in a misdemeanor. So basically, your free speech rights to record are no longer a thing in Florida. Effective January 1st, 2025, the no-go zone bill would create a second-degree misdemeanor for anyone who, after a warning, approaches or remains within 25 feet of working first responders with the intent to harass, threaten, impede, or interfere. That's punishable up to 60 days behind bars. Up to 60 days, when you could be simply engaging in your First Amendment right. Do you remember how close those bystanders were with what happened with George Floyd? Well, in Florida, they would face up to 60 days behind bars. Quote, you shouldn't be in a situation where you're in a traffic stop, you're responding to a call of someone in distress, and then you have people come trying to interdict or trying to harass you from performing your duty, end quote. DeSantis said, quote, we view that as a problem, and now you're going to be held accountable, end quote. So basically, he doesn't want police officers to be held accountable when they abuse citizens. Some media and First Amendment advocates have questioned the measure, including the First Amendment Foundation Executive Director Bobby Block, who said its language was overly broad and unlikely to survive a legal challenge, because most of DeSantis' crazy laws like this don't survive a legal challenge. But basically, in Florida, as it stands right now, at least until January 1st with the it's January 1st of next year in 2025 with the whole no-go zones around the law enforcement. But right now, police, the civilian police oversight boards, they are being filled with people that are being selected by local sheriffs and local police chiefs. So there is no such thing as police oversight in Florida. And Ron DeSantis made sure of that. Ron DeSantis made sure of that.